So once I moved back, I quit taking the Provera because we were in a different state. So I had a period for an entire year, and I quit when we moved back. And I have tried dieting and doing different things, and losing weight has always been a big, difficult task for me, which I will discuss in a different video. That's going to be a separate video. This one's just going to be about my diagnosis. So in January, I was like, okay, I need to go to a doctor, an actual doctor, not a gynecologist. Well, gynecologists are doctors, but I mean like a family doctor. I had never had a family doctor. So I went to one that was recommended by our family, and she is a nurse practitioner, but she is a wonderful, wonderful human being. She actually investigates when you go. Like, she will find out what is going on with you, and she articulates it to you in a way that you can understand it. So I go to her. I'm like, okay, I just need to know what's going on. I'm constantly throwing up. I don't feel good. She runs labs immediately and prescribes me Prilosec for my acid reflux, which she says could be causing the sporadic vomiting. Even just having horrible acid reflux can cause you to throw it up. So I was like, okay, perfect. No big deal. I'll take the Prilosec. So I'd been taking the Prilosec. She does my blood work, and I schedule an appointment with the gynecologist at her outfit. So she is a family doctor or a family nurse practitioner, and they have an in-house gynecologist. Just one, and you always see him. You don't see anybody else. You just see him, and he's only there on Thursdays. So I was like, okay, perfect. I'll go see him. The nicest human being ever. I will go on record as saying that, and so will my husband. We go in. He starts talking to me. I still haven't gotten the lab work back from when my nurse practitioner drew my labs. I'm talking to him. I'm like, okay, you know, I give him the entire rundown of everything I had been told by everybody else. I give him that entire rundown. And he becomes fixated on the insulin resistance, because apparently it's a bigger deal than I thought it was. So he goes and he gets into my labs, and he's like, so your insulin is showing 34. It should have been, I think he said like 10 or lower or something like that. He said when he saw 34, he knew immediately that I was insulin resistant. And he explained to me that the only true way to note insulin resistance is to do a glucose test, similar to the one that you give pregnant women, where they go in fasting, you drink this excessively sugary drink, you stay for an hour, and then they draw your labs. But with me, they wanted me to come in fasting, drink the, it's like it tastes really weird. It's just a very, very sugary drink, and wait 2 hours and do the lab. So that's what I did. And I got a phone call that my insulin level was 206. And he told me that it should have been below 50. So that was kind of a shock. And he wanted to have another appointment with me to come in and discuss my diagnosis with me, which is insulin resistance. He said that I did have the PCOS, the immature follicles. That's PCOS. He told me that my testosterone was 1 away from being like 1 below being abnormal, but I was still within perfect range, and that would elevate and decrease just depending on when you drew my blood. So even though the woman in Charlotte told me that my estrogen was that of a premenopausal woman, which I don't think I said, but that's what she told me, was that my estrogen was that of a premenopausal woman, it didn't show that when he drew my blood. So when they got my blood, it was normal, but my testosterone was almost not normal. So I guess it's really dependent upon what you're feeling like that. I don't really know. But I went back to my doctor's appointment. I went back to the doctor this past week, and it was Monday of last week, and he told me, these are your options. I'm going to put you on 2 medications, and one of them is metformin. He also let me know that 3 is not the max amount that you can take. 4 is. And that starting me out on 3 a day was not a very smart idea, because you want to build up tolerance in your body. So he was going to start me out on 1 a day. So 1 in the morning with breakfast. 1 metformin in the morning with breakfast for a week. Then 2 a day. 1 in the morning, 1 at night for a week. And then 2 in the morning and 1 at night for 6 weeks. And instead of just that 1 medication, because my insulin was so high, he was going to put me on another medicine, which to the best of my ability is pioglitazone. I have no clue how to pronounce that, but he said it's kind of the same medication, but it takes a different route. So you've got 2 medications attacking it from both sides. And the way he explained insulin resistance to me was that it makes it very difficult for you to lose weight, because your body doesn't know how to process the carbs and stores them as fat. So the best diet for someone who is insulin resistant is low carb. Not like low carb, die on low carb, like 5 carbs a day, but just low carb. It helps your body process it. And that what it does is, people who have insulin resistance, it tends to turn into diabetes. And there were 2 reasons for that. He said one of them is that because insulin resistant makes it so hard to lose weight, you just continuously gain weight, which leads to diabetes. And then the other reason for it is that your receptors, your insulin receptors, have mass produced and overproduced for so long that eventually they just give out, and that leads to diabetes that way, which I don't want. I did work in, the medical field, and I've seen what diabetes can do to people. I don't want that. So I was like, okay, it's time to stop being stubborn and just put me on what I got to be on, and let's start a low carb diet. He put me back on the Provera. We've got that kind of going on. So I've started the Provera back. I've got 2 different medications, the pioglitazone, I have no idea, it's PIO something, and then metformin. And so far, I am almost at a week taking the 1 pill a day with the metformin, and I have had no side effects from it. So when I go to 2 weeks, I'll update you all on how that's treating me. But basically, my diagnosis is that I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, and that I am 100% insulin resistant. And insulin resistance is hereditary. Most people don't even know they have it until they are diabetic. So the fact that I caught it now is tremendous. What's bothersome is that I have been told that I was insulin resistant before, and went in and flat out told my doctor that I wasn't going to take the metformin anymore because of how it was treating me, and was basically treated as though insulin resistance wasn't a big deal. And then the second doctor I saw said I didn't even have it. The third doctor I saw said I didn't have it. And now I've got my new gynecologist, who's like pretty much telling me the only way that they could have determined that whether you had it or not was the glucose test. So I went to 4 different doctors, and it took 4 people, 4, to finally figure out exactly what was wrong with me. And he let me know, my most recent gynecologist let me know very quickly that Clomid would almost be a waste of time. And he said that the reason that it would be a waste of time is because you have to get your insulin resistance in check, and you need to lose weight. Because if they were to have just given me Clomid where I was, or Clomid right now, I would have like slim to no chance of getting pregnant. And then that's, like I said, something that's not covered on insurance. So I would be out of pocket that much money for 0 to no chance. Simply because we didn't get all of this other stuff in check. So that's why I wanted to make this video, because it is hereditary. I know personally 3 or 4 people that recently got diagnosed with insulin resistance, and they had similar stories to mine. And this whole time I thought, okay, I've got something in my digestive tract wrong with me. Something's wrong in my gut. Something is wrong there, and that's what's causing me to throw up. That's what's causing me to be sick and have dizzy spells all the time. And nobody was paying attention to that part. They were just paying attention to the fact that I didn't have a menstrual cycle. So they were only paying attention to the PCOS. They weren't actually trying to figure out what was wrong with me internal, like as far as the throwing up and being sick goes. So I wanted to make the video so that possibly you all, if you are having similar symptoms or issues to what I have, then you could possibly, I don't want to say self-diagnose, because don't ever do that. Go to the doctor, find out what's wrong with you. But bring it up to them. If you're having the issues that I'm having or have had, bring it up to your doctor. Be like, hey, these are the things that are wrong with me. Can we check for this? Can you check to see if I'm insulin resistant? Because it does turn into diabetes. And that's not something that anybody wants. So I think 30 minutes in now, I'm going to conclude the video. And in my next video, we will be talking about what insulin resistance is. We're going to go into a little bit more depth about it, how I'm dealing with it, and how the medications are helping me. And I'm also going to be doing a video on the ketogenic diet, which is the low carb diet. So I will be putting out more content very quickly. I'm going to film a few more videos to have out this week. And if you want to follow me, just go ahead and hit the subscribe button. There is a little bell by my name that will notify you when I make a new video. And give this video a thumbs up to let me know if you liked it. And I will see you all next time. Bye, guys. You were so good. You just laid there on your pillow. Let me show you this. Saying only took me 20 minutes to calm down, Mom. Only took me 20 minutes. Only took me 20 minutes. I didn't annoy you for 20 minutes at all, did I? Say no. That wasn't me. Bringing me her toy. Trying to get Mommy to play games while Mommy's trying to film. Mwah.